自分はこれからいつもの配信をしますので。はい、お隣でよろしいですかね。ここで。ありがとうございます。ああ、ジャンプしちゃった。はい。ことちゃんさんの隣でよろしいですか？なんかこれ使って。はい、ありがとうございます。はい。いつもこの時間で3時間ぐらい配信して、まあ、イラストの練習をサボらないための配信です。ありがとうございます。はい。9時半です、夜の。いつもの、いつもの仕事の時間です。今夜はまあ、ゆうさんのメニューちゃんのイラストもちょっと進みたいと思います。うん、ありがとうございます。なるほど、なるほど。じゃあ自分は一旦、そのゲームから、まあ、ゲーム、なんていうのかな ?AFK します。離席ではないんですけどね。はい。まあ何か、はい、ご用。はいはいはいはい。あ、素晴らしい。ナイスナイスナイス。まあ、お声かけても全然いいんです。いつでも。うん、ありがとうございます。はい。美味しくお召し上がってください。お疲れ様です。なんか、一応自分はなんか YouTube で配信してますので、なんかたまに、はい、なんか視聴者が来ますかもしれないんですけど、でもゲームの音は一切載せてないんで、ご安心してください。はい。ありがとうございます。Okay, we are back. So, that's just a bit of a setup. I am still alive. Good morning. I am still alive. Yum, 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 yum. Anyways, today I want to focus a little bit more on just trying to clean stuff up. Hello, Igami. Uh, Igami, were you the one who asked about coffee? Coffee? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Ko-fi. I have an account, except I haven't really linked up with any payment methods because um, I am not 100% sure how it works behind the scenes because I'm keeping the Art account as well as the whatchamacallit, the payment and stuff like that separate, because I do believe that if you put stuff like PayPal, like whenever you pay stuff or you make payment or something, your shit does get shown, like your real name and stuff. It's just that, right, so okay, so because okay, I guess what's happening is that so I've heard a lot about like client, right, and then the artist, if they go through PayPal, the name of this guy gets shown, right? Because it's connected and everything, and it's because it's the bank and everything like that. You do have to have your real name and stuff. So I'm guessing is right now if we go like through Kofi or Ko-fi, I don't know how people say it, and then go through PP, it would actually abstract that away. So actually that's good to know. Thank you for letting me know. I will probably set up something and then I'll probably make a payment to myself before I will open that up to everyone. Ko-fi? Okay, Ko-fi. Like lo-fi but ko-fi. Okay, got it. That's easy to remember. And then we'll see. In other news, I still haven't yet replied to our POTG artists. Because it is a bit of a long message that I'm crafting. I'm trying to make sure that all the nuances are captured correctly. Because essentially they asked me like how would they like the stream to go down. And having zero experience here, it's really hard to just be like, hey, I'm gonna do this and you should follow, right? I don't know what the best way of doing this is. And obviously we should get them to be a part of this conversation. They have been very courteous so far as to ask me to just take the lead and just tell them what is it that I want to do, because they're like, hey, you know, like because I asked them if it's okay for them to be on stream, and they're like, yeah, it's fine, and how would you like it, right, specifically. So that's very courteous of them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tell them that, hey, in my mind I envision that you're gonna come on, we're gonna be in Discord call. I'm gonna introduce you. I'm gonna introduce myself, right? I'm gonna introduce you, and then I'll introduce you also in English, just so that all my viewers know who you are. However, the communication is gonna be done entirely in Japanese, and if there's any translation that's gonna be required, it'll probably be done way later after the fact, right? We're probably not gonna have to do it in the middle of the stream, just because I don't really want them to feel uncomfortable if I have to spend like 30%, even like 10-20% of the time just speaking English in a language that they don't understand. So ideally I'll just do it entirely in Japanese. I'll also ask them if it's okay, if they mind being well, I'm guessing they're already okay with being on stream. However, I don't know if they're okay with being made into a video, because that feels slightly different. So I'll probably ask them more explicitly if they're okay with that. And if they're okay with that, we are going to possibly release a video instead, right? So of all the highlights that they have mentioned, of all the stuff that they have shared, yeah, it's such a weird place. I don't know where to draw the line, just because like this is us paying them for this content, right? So for them, they're okay with sharing this content. But if they're okay with being on stream, then the content itself is going to be publicized, right? We're not gatekeeping the content anymore. So in a sense, they're like okay with like us showing all these things on stream and stuff, right? But in a separate sense, it's like if I make a video out of it and then I try to make money off of it, or even if I don't make money off of it, it's like, how would you feel about that? You know, like, wouldn't it like take away from other people, like, you know, like other chances that they might get for like making a little bit more money, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, but any translations will probably have to be done after the live session. So I'll probably just talk through about it in English again, or I'll make a video about it. It's a paid collab, I suppose. You could, I suppose I could think of it like that. That is a good way to think of it, because I am paying them in advance, right? In a sense, I'm probably paying them more money than I, well, we will probably ever make off that one video. That being said, but yeah. Anyways, just know that like currently the plan is for them to be. We're gonna do it entirely in Japanese, and you guys probably will not understand most of what's being said. Hopefully I do understand what is being said. That would be kind of funny if I don't. For you guys at least, it'd be kind of funny, but for me it'd be really a nightmare. But yeah, just don't worry about it. I will talk about all the content afterwards. And then I'm gonna ask and see if they want a stream to go down in a specific way, or they have any ideas, or like anything that they don't want me to do, or certain things like that. It's gonna be really hard. I don't know if they're such a public sort of type of person, right? I don't know if they're male or female at this point, but yeah, so we'll see. And I'm just trying to lay out all these things as clearly as I can, but not being too long-winded. At the same time, I also want to tell them that, hey, I don't necessarily have a lot of, I don't have any experience in this. So please go easy on me, you know, stuff like that. I also want to be like, hey, if possible, I'd like to be more casual in the conversation. So far, the email communication has been extremely formal, but it's also because it's a written form of communication. Once you get in touch, once you start speaking to them, you probably go like, konnichiwa, nani nani san desu. はじめまして。はじめまして。No, you don't say 優しいしてください. Like that is a very weird thing to say to people that you have never met. Like, please be gentle with me in this exact way is like, it's just weird. It's just kind of weird. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you know. But you'll go something like, there's like a proper way to say it. I saw ChatGPT write it. Like right now, communication is mostly written by ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is good at doing the language, but ChatGPT is bad at doing the nuances. Like, there are certain ways, things that you probably, like, there's a specific way of speaking, right? Like, for example, even if you're being super polite, if you're saying, hey, if you spend like 3 sentences in the front saying that, hey, I have no experience with this, etc., and then you tell them that I want to do this, right? Even in English, right? Think about the confidence that you're portraying. You're telling people, hey, I have no confidence, but I want to do this, I want to do this. At best, they think that you're really desperate and stuff, and that you are, you know, they will see that you have the heart to make it work, but they're not gonna get a lot of confidence from you, right? ChatGPT wrote this kind of shit for me, so what I tell them to do is move this up. Tell them what you want to do first. Be confident. Tell them that, hey, this is what I envision this would be. But then afterwards, you will tell them that I don't have a lot of experience. Maybe don't use 3 lines, use 1 line, and then change the 2 lines to be like, is there anything that you would like to do? You know, then that changes the whole dynamic of the conversation. You're now no longer telling them that I suck, and I want to do this. You're telling them that, hey, we're gonna do this thing, but I'm not 100% sure. Is there anything you would like to add? Right? The vibe changes. And ChatGPT has a lot of stupid shit like this that I'm trying to sort out. That's why it's taking a while, because the message is really long. I'm checking through the nuances for every single section, and also the nuances across different sections, and then also nuances across all the different emails. Because as you're communicating through the emails, there are things that are said and there are things that are unsaid, right? But just because it's unsaid doesn't mean that they don't think in a certain way. So I'm just trying to make sure that all the expectations are aligned. It's a little bit tricky with the current situation that I'm having. I'm hoping that I don't screw anything up, but it should be fine. I think for the most part, things are getting across. One thing I am getting that from the email that is the other party is very, well, yeah, like I said before, courteous, right? In the sense that they are okay with a lot of stuff. Right, they're not trying to dictate how things go. They'll be like, hey, you know, you want to stream, chef? Sure, you know, sounds great. And then just tell me how you want it to go. They're not being like, hey, you want to stream? Okay, but only if you do X and Y and Z. And I would like you to stream it in this particular way. They're not doing that. So, as far as I can tell, they are very easygoing at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna confirm certain things in the nuances and stuff. I will send out the email, and then the next thing I need to do is start preparing. I'm gonna have like a lot of mock conversations with ChatGPT, and I want to basically go through all these possible different things that we're talking about in the most formal version of the language as possible, so that I have an idea of the language and the type of nuances and the stuff that I would need to be aware of. It's really easy. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I mess up communication quite a bit. With some of the way that you say things, like let's say if you're just asking someone, like someone you just met in the first time, sometimes I will ask like, hey, is this the case, right? Right, desu ka? Nani nani desu ka? Toka. Lamao. Let me do a test here. Okay, I think we're back. But I have a tendency to add a ne here. And this ne here doesn't necessarily, how do I say this? It makes it a little bit less polite. And it changes the tone of the your position, I think. I don't quite have a good example at this point. But to me, if someone say this instead of saying desu ka, there is a bit of impatience behind this ne, it feels like. So, and yeah, it's really hard to know how people necessarily perceive it. I perceive it a certain way just because of the experiences I had. Yeah, desu ka ne. Like, it has a little bit of like, I'm confirming with you rather than I'm really asking you, you know? Like, it has a bit of like, hey, I already have preconceived notions and ideas of how this is. Will you please confirm? You know, something like that. Desu ka ne. And I don't necessarily really like that nuance. But yeah, anyways, it's just stuff like that I want to be super on top of. It slips out of me like super often. Do not take that sentence out of context. But yeah, anyways, that's the current update at this point. Hopefully, I do want to get the message out tonight. Desne is not really, yeah, it is confirming. Like, deska is just asking, right? Desne is just saying, is it, yeah, no, it's you are confirming for people. Like, if they ask you something, yeah, nani nani desu ne. So da yo ne. So da yo te. It's like that sort of series of confirmations. Desu ka ne. Desu ka? Desu ka ne. It's like same as asking, but like it just feels a little bit less polite and impatient to me. I wouldn't really necessarily take this as a Japanese lesson. I wouldn't suggest you guys uh-oh, I'm lagging a bit. I wouldn't necessarily suggest you guys take what I'm saying as like the gospel and then just be like, oh yeah, this is like this, don't use it. Or like, hey, this is the nuance that you need to get a feel for it. I haven't been watching Japanese content in a while, so the feels that I have is a little bit off, I think. I dare say it's a little off, which is why I'm worried. It is the same thing, right? First impressions are really important, and in this situation here, it's especially so, because it's not just first impressions for this artist, it's first impression for us as in general, as a YouTuber doing this kind of, if you will, content. In the future, you know, like if I ever want to ask another artist to do something similar, more likely than not, you know, they will ask me the same thing. How would you like the streams to proceed? And if this one goes well, you know, I just send them this and be like, hey, yeah, this is kind of how I think it will go down. You know, maybe we change here and there, but like in general, this is how it will probably go down. So it's a very important first step here that we're trying to take. That being said, again, this is not the be all and end all. If we screw this one up, we just have to learn from it and try again. But next time we try again, probably we'll go with something a little bit less formal. Maybe people in VR chat or something like that. Stuff like that. We can do like short interviews and ask. You know, I can just walk up to people and be like, hey, would you like to participate in a quick interview about yourself? Maybe I can introduce you to the viewers and stuff like that. If you like. If you don't, that's fine. So yeah, it's exciting. We'll see where we get. Definitely need to get this sorted out. So I'll definitely try to finish my Ko-Fi and the email sorted out tonight. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a quick sketch here as I try to warm up. It's always nice to just do a quick sketch. And then later on, I want to reconnect with the reference that Duvet suggested, the artist that Duvet has brought to us yesterday via the daily. Get a feel for the lines, and then I want to just start inking. I think I'll ink this one first, just because it's already here. I have half the mind to convert this back to hollow again, just because we've been pretty consistent with just having a bunch of hollows. I think it would be nice, you know, to have this as hollow, and then just so that we can keep this hollow thing going, and then maybe potentially I can post it. And then we just give her a tail, you know. It's not really that much more work. Oh, I guess the tail will be like all the way over here. Yeah, it's like somewhere here, down to the ground here. I'm gonna lighten this up. What? Also, you're gonna hear a bit of noise in the quote-unquote music today, because it's not just music, it is also like a guy took a bunch of stuff on a train in Japan and is merging it with piano and using the original ambience. So it's going to be slightly different than usual. I'm wondering if this is gonna be it does feel a little bit nicer for working, I think. Even though the music's constantly repeating, it's not like 100% still either, you know, just because there's a bunch of background noise going on. I'll send the link in case you guys want to have that. They have a lot of similar videos. Also, actually, I do kind of want to set up something else on screen real quick. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna have this up on screen here, but essentially our very own Lego Mia has also started streaming his Lego eating adventures. Right, so he spends 2 hours a day eating Legos. If you want to see him eat Legos and ask him what his favorite color is, please head over to Lego Mia channel. This is his channel, by the way. He has 3 streams now. I kind of forgot to tell you guys about it on the because I had the health scare, but it's been going on for like 3 times now. And because he is in Japan, the timing it would be Japan nighttime, right? So maybe like oh yeah, maybe like Asia nighttime might be easier to join for some of you guys. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyways, here is the stream. Whoa, what the? Why is it doing that? Lego wa umai desu ka? Yes, exactly. But if you're writing Romaji like that, you probably separate the wa away from the Lego. So you have noun, wa, umai desu ka? So you separate out the particles, so it becomes a little bit easier to read. One thing I've come to realize is that Japanese people are not very adept at reading Romaji for good reason, right? Like why would they ever need to have that skill of reading Japanese in English characters, in Latin characters? You know, it's kind of weird, but yeah. So if you're writing Romaji and stuff for Japanese people, I highly suggest breaking it up for them as much as possible. It makes it a lot easier on their side. Yeah, okay, so Frails, I'm going to just jump over to, let me see, our good old Nanoka-san. 配信音楽これいらない参考メールで。OK, OK, OK. これだ。Very, very nice. Where is my Frails? Let me get Frails here. Since we are practicing frills, as much as I dislike frills, I might as well go bring out the big guns here. Our best reference that we can find here. Good old Nanoka-san. They're amazing clothing renderers. Very cool. Don't know what I need and what I don't need. Let's see. I need some of the size. I need some of the ones on the shoulders and stuff. Okay. It should be enough, I think. You want to ask like which Legos is the most delicious or something, right? Like, right? Let's see. どれかな？どれ？どれのが一番うまいんですか？どれかな？どっちかな？ I don't actually know what the difference is, if I'm being honest. I don't think I think at some point in my life I probably have like seen like the correct usage for all the different types. But the thing is, people get what you're saying, you know. When you're talking to them, they obviously know what you're asking. So they don't tend to correct you, and you don't tend to need to be corrected or feel like you need to be corrected. Or feel like even you're using it in the wrong case for the most of the time. So I don't actually know what's the correct one. I think like どっち is like either or. It's like A or B. どっち And then どれ has a little bit more options. In my heart, that's kind of how it feels like. But I don't know. Oh, I don't think that's feminine and that's masculine in this case. It's more of just what is more appropriate for the situation. For like the noun that you're referring to. As well as the number of them, I think. However, I do not know what the correct answer is. ChatGPT at Google is probably your best bet. Or even Dono. Dono Lego ga. Rei wa どうやって書くっけ? How do you write Rei again? I mean, I don't write katakana that often. あ、レイか。これか。どのレゴが、一番、I don't know how to write 番。うまいですか？ですか？My shittiest handwriting. どのレゴが？どれのが一番うまいですか？どれ Because どれ you wouldn't put Lego anymore, I think. You will already know the noun that you're talking about in question. So if you guys already know, hey, you're talking about Legos, then どれのが一番うまいですか？どっちのが一番うまいですか？何が一番うまい？何かな？何 actually works pretty well in this case, just by vibes. 何が一番うまいですか？ You see, I almost put the ne again. I almost feel like 何が一番うまいですかね? Yeah, I would not suggest using the ne here. For sure. Wow. You see the stupid as anime head nonsense where the head gets really big, everything else gets a little bit squished, I feel like, because the shoulder width is not as wide as it would be otherwise. And there's always like spacing here that just disappears as a result, in my experience. I don't know if like this is how it's supposed to be just because you're changing proportions, right? Anime proportions are not really that realistic. It's just a little weird. Yes, Mr. Legomia was inspired. He wanted to also get shit done. That's why he started the streams. All the best to him. Honestly, the hours really do add up. Like it's doesn't seem like a lot, right? 2 hours, 3 hours a day. It just does add up quite a bit, it would seem. Is my hand too far forwards? Oh, possibly, I think. Possibly? It is, yeah, it is too far forwards. Like this hand here relative to the plate, it should be halfway. Like the index finger is like halfway over. So maybe like somewhere here. That means this arm here, either I straighten it out a bit. I think I probably have to do that because I don't have the same shoulder width here. I'm just gonna rotate it out a bit. Yeah. You see some funny people in the chat. Those are like our VR chat friends. More of his VR chat friends. I've only recently been a little bit more acquainted with them, but for the most part, it is Lego Man's VR chat friends, and they're a little bit wild. Feel free to just use words like unchi or something like that in his stream. That is what his stream has devolved to. Lock. Level 1. Level 2. Check here. We are getting a little bit more, a little bit faster, it feels like, or at least easier to do. I don't know if I'm necessarily faster, but in my heart, when I'm drawing now, the load that is required, like the amount of load and stress and stuff that I'm aware of feeling, is steadily dropping. So it means that it's being more and more of an automated process. So we're basically just getting more competent, I think, in general, because there's not as many things giving us problems. There's not as many things making me feel like it's making the thing look like shit and stuff like that. So, you know, 10 months in here, we are at least, if nothing else, a little bit more confident with sketches, which is nice. If I can just stabilize, I keep saying this, but if we can just stabilize one set of rendering colors and workflow and technique, you know, that would be big progress, big progress. It's so hard for me to imagine. I think I was talking about this yesterday. Like, if you don't have if you've just never experienced it, like, you're just not gonna know, right? Stuff like planning, stuff like what it feels like to be able to draw in a specific way. I wonder what life is like on the other side, you know, like once you can draw things comfortably, you can color things comfortably, you're not always feeling like you're so inadequate, or like you're not always hating on your own stuff. What kind of world is that? What would that be like? Hopefully we get to find out within the next 1 year or so. Yeah, this arm might have been a little bit too long, I think. This would have been a little bit higher up, I think. Possibly, quite possibly. Alright, I'm gonna have to resize this. And scaling, right? So we're targeting this length here, which means this is a little bit too big. So 이거도 보라 handかな? 보라 hand das nine. せやな、今日は。I'm gonna redo the finger. I don't think I can follow exactly here then. That's fine too. As long as the idea is driven across, that would be just fine here. Yappa jama ka. Shikata nai ne. でかいのか Target Mine No copyright warnings, everything looks good. Maybe it is a bit small. And then, right, okay, yeah, makes sense. That's fine. Let's make this a little bit less tall. Checks out. Thing looks good. Target here, but then the shoulder width. Wait, let me see. Shoulders are here. So expand this. Need to balance out this side, and then I'm gonna pull. Oh no, this line here is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna change the direction. And a bit lower, right? So it'd be here. Yeah, I'm gonna push this out then. Could it be a bit higher? I think it could. Yes, sir. Just ever so slightly. Oh. Yeah, the target is slightly up. Ooh. Sizing concerns? Yes, sir. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. There's no volume here or something. Why is it so? Hold on there. Break it. And then the thumb. So this part is collapsed, and then it opens up into this target here. And then some more behind. Kinda high. A tad bit high, I think. Oops. It is very clean, our reference. It's very specific set of shapes. Quite a bit more regular than actual reality here. I am wondering if I should go with reality here, because I don't really like these folds. These shapes are kind of okay. They're just kind of big as well. They never look right, is the thing. Even if I just copy from someone else's shapes. Yeah, that sequence is fine. This one here is fine. It is doable like this. You know, this part here would be... Yeah, it's a bit more overlapping and stuff. But this just tidies it up and makes it easier to draw. And it's the same idea. So really, we're not really losing anything. It just becomes a specific style. That is what we want. What is it that I want here? Yeah, maybe rather than trying to go for what someone else's does, I'll just do whatever that feels more natural then. Which would be to just use the photos. This is more true to the idea of style development anyways. Since drawing from photos is the way to go. And then you will simplify stuff naturally over time into your own liking. Or so I would like to think. It may be less elegant now, but I think over time it's probably more beneficial this way. It looks kind of weird, man. Oh my god, it looks so weird. Yeah, that means this will get grouped out. Kind of hard to see. I'm just kind of winging it. I don't know what I'm drawing. I do have to get a move on today though. Sequence in front of yeah. Big. Where do I put the years actually? Would it be in front or behind? Wait, what? Oh, in front? Oh, in front. Okay. So the years would be behind this. Ring, 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 ring. rounded? No, but the upper body is. And this is actually probably spread by some other reason. Okay. Man, like the amount of ambience I'm getting from not just the video, the music, with the music and the trains and stuff, I'm also getting stuff from in-game. It's so weird. I don't know which way it's coming from. Whether if I'm hearing people laughing in-game or from the video. Because I'm at a coffee shop that's also on a train. Okay, I'm gonna go log on to our new quality control. I want to take a look at the how I can get some interesting lines. Primarily, I want to keep the same balance that we see, I think. Gonna check for line width, and then we'll probably go ahead here. I just need lines at this point. Clean set of lines about this width, about this image, but I want to... let me think. Opaque lines or no? These are not quite opaque, but this is sketchy. Not at the final stage yet. What was it that I said last time? I think we wanted lines that are more... Wait, let me just go open it. Yeah, it needs to be thick enough, right, to have presence. What did I say about roughness? I think in this case, maybe let's not go for roughness because my target today is not going to be rough here. We probably want to keep lines smooth on this one. So I would like to test out lines that are not rough. Line weight distribution. I might not be able to be that particular with line weight, I think. So even, but that's probably done in a stroke. Yeah, that's different. Thinner lines for background, thicker lines for stuff on the inside. Hang on, let's see. Pretty even, it feels. Did I write something down? Did I not? Right, because it was the size of this, but the opacity of this that I like. Yeah, these are too rough. Okay, opacity on. Sequencing smooth-ish lines. Alright, I'll do a quick test here. Then. Should be fine. wasn't necessarily that particular. Yeah, as long as it's thick enough and it has enough opacity, I think it'll be fine. Other stuff like line weight and textures, I think doesn't matter too much. We're not gonna go that crazy with either. I imagine. So what do I want to do here? Enough weighting. Alright, let's do 10 on this size here. What did I do last time? Actually, shit. This was 15, 12 to 15. We have quite a bit of line weight going on here. And canvas size. Canvas size is 4K. 3.8 by 2. 15. I'll probably use 12 then at this point. Or stay consistent and we just use 12. And I want to see how it comes out. Maybe 13. Lucky number 13. Oh, it's thick enough, I think. We also don't have velocity settings. So it'll be decently thick like this, I think. Do I want it? Hello, Devane. Very cool, very cool. Oh my god, that looks like you just fell on your keyboard. I'm gonna YOLO and assume that this person has a Twitter. But I didn't copy it. Come on. Oh. They do have a Twitter. Oh, it just didn't paste properly. Oh, very interesting. Not what I was expecting when I saw the profile picture. The profile picture is like one of those, you know, personal use profiles, like Twitter. I think I have seen this stuff before. There you go. Yeah, I've definitely seen this before. A closer look. New gacha? Oh, is this for a game? Artist, yes. Our daily artist gacha. One free pool one a day. Let's get some of this. People going to eat lunch. Sorry, lunch? Isn't it like wait, oh no, it's probably dinner or something. Hi. Let's get some of this. it stuck? Kind of, yeah, it was. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. I think everyone's going to eat dinner or something. I think the rendering's really cool and all. It's just like there's a lot of stuff happening. I think you can tell that my reaction yesterday and reaction today is so different. Yeah, it would seem like I don't really like really detailed renders like this. It is very, very impressive. It is very clean for the amount of shapes and everything that's going on. My brain doesn't know where to start processing it. Oh, oops. I'm wondering, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if it's just like a gradient map situation, because there's clearly some purple here, some more light blue-ish colors here. And it seems to be tied to the value, but I'm not 100% sure. Like around this value here, like 26, 20. Just like this purple hue, and then if it's a little bit darker, it becomes redder. Actually, no. Oh yeah. Let's see. There's a bit of variation still though. I don't know how that would come about, but so yeah, like one pass. Black and white gradient map would be the easiest way to go about this. I think that's the overall thingy. Somewhere in between there is a transition. Anyways, thank you, Duvet. I don't know. It's just like a little bit too complicated, I think. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed. It is very cool that it's so tight, even though there's so many things happening. I wonder how long one of these would take. Assuming you have all the references ready and stuff, the seal feels like it's gonna take a while. Do they have a work? Oh, but they do have a course, don't they? They were promoting their course earlier. I'm curious if they were doing black and white and then they put colors on, or would it be something else? Black and white gradient map and then some kind of overlay or a little bit more color. I can see it happening. But man, the hair. Oh, and the amount of detail. This is kind of crazy. This gotta take like 40-50 hours at least, right? Like, oh wait, but hang on. Okay, yeah. So the color, like the colors between the light and the shadows is, the shadows don't have as much color as it kind of makes sense. It's kind of the vibe I was getting. But there's not a lot of hue change, and it's mostly desaturated shadows. Other than like skin here. And like this part here, I think? Yeah. These are really monotonous. That's part. I guess it makes sense. Maybe keep the focus on these two bluer parts. Grayer colors. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Anyways, thanks again, Duvet. Get back to work. I feel like way more shit to talk about yesterday. I think just in general, the colors yesterday was a lot more agreeable. I felt a lot more aesthetically pleasing. The overall balance of the image, the amount of details that's happening. Like, I feel really overwhelmed by what they have. And I think that's very impressive. So much detail and so much rendering and so much shape, so many shapes. But it's all really tight. But yeah, partly I think it's just too overwhelming, and then the other part was just that I can like subconsciously feel like the amount of effort it will require to paint something to that level, and it just doesn't feel very fun. It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of work. You gotta really enjoy the process. I think I'm more of an enjoy the outcome kind of guy, so the process has got to be a little bit nicer and smoother than that, I think. But it's good stuff though. It's good stuff. It's always nice to see different sides of the same, different ways of doing similar things, like drawing. I think just for the eyes, it's probably gonna be slightly different. Or not, don't care. Just one brush, just go for it. Okay. I want to just do line testing here. And also get a little bit loosened up with drawing lines before I try to do something more serious. The first few sets is always going to give me problems. Some kind of problems. So let me just get that out of the way real quick. Calibrate it to this, please. I'm gonna swap out like to a different train here. Oh wait, what is this? This guy sits at like a coffee shop in Shibuya. Probably just drop this sequence. As usual, if you guys want any sources for the music or the art or anything that you see on screen or here, just let me know. I'll try to find it. If I don't already have the source. Show off is the target. Show off is target. It's also got a Pomodoro timer in this one. Hope it's not gonna get too annoying. But basically every 25 minutes it's going to beep, and then 5 minutes it's gonna beep, and then 25 minutes again. Oh shit. Messed that up. This is quite a bit thicker than I envisioned though. Yeah, this is quite a bit thicker. I might have to drop this down to 10 pixels then. Yeah, I think we have to go down here. Yeah, it's very strong. Let's redo this. Why is it as... Because I'm pressing hard, I think. Maybe 8 then, if that's the case. Pick that up. Air sequence, we're gonna go default. Everything I'm gonna run default. So I'm gonna do whatever that's most natural. Let me see. There's a decent amount of lines in the hair, and it still works pretty well, even though the lines are kind of messy. I think that means I'm not gonna be too bothered. I do feel like the variation is more interesting though. Just have to go for it, I think. Difference between inner and outer lines would be none. This case. How tight do I want the lines here? I think tight enough to suggest that there is no bleeding. There won't be any bleeding for the coloring, but I might not join the lines up completely. Probably be the target quality here. Oh wait, if this is hollow, I need to change the hairstyle a little bit. Oh, okaeri nasai. Very cool, very cool. Target, target, target. Where's my ref? Ah. Oh, okay, okay. お疲れ様です。ありがとうございます。はい。また会いましょうね。はい。あざっさす。お疲れ様です。 Very, very cool. Came back from dinner and he's like, oh, okay, actually I'm done for the day. I guess I'll see you. I was like, oh, okay, I see you. Yeah, it's like working in like a common area, you know, like you don't really necessarily talk to people, you just kind of see them, you greet them, you be like, oh yeah, hi, how are you? Working again, I see, you know, like, hey. And then maybe, you know, like over time, you get used to each other's presence. And then eventually you guys might be like, oh, you're here again today. How are you doing? You know, what are you working on? Stuff like that. And then it will maybe start like that. That's why I'm here in this world, primarily just to have presence. And have more like of these organic sort of, even though it seems kind of superficial, right? You're really just saying hi and bye every time for the most part. It is still pretty interesting. You still get to talk to a little bit more people, and then once in a while you get someone who's a little bit more active, who might come in and start asking you questions and stuff like that. It's a bit weird because like in this world, it's like for the most part people are working, you know. There may be like stigma against like talking too much. I am not 100% sure, but I think there is a good chance that people might feel like they're gonna disturb you if you start talking. But still, you know, opening yourself up for opportunities, I think is probably the best way to go about it. You never know what might happen. Okay. Oops. The other way, please. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Do I really need to know? Look. Man, art, man. Like all these shapes. I remember like all those streams, like 130 streams ago, 140 streams ago. I remember drawing rails back then. I tried so hard not to draw the shapes that I would naturally draw. And this happened so many times for different things as well. It's like, oh, I don't really like the way I draw it. So let's find someone else's way to do it. But it's because it's not your way, it's kind of hard to do it. It makes it really hard to work. And then over time, you kind of like sort of don't give as much of a crap. It's like, yeah, it serves the purpose, you know, people can tell what it is. So I guess over time, you either get used to your own shapes that you didn't like before and be like, yeah, it's fine. Or you eventually, I guess, figure out what is it that you do like. So style development in its finest, I suppose. Exactly what it is that we're here to do. Yeah, okay, it's loaded. I think this is fine. There should be some hint of it over here, but I don't visualize it. You know what? This is vibe drawing. Just like vibe coding, we do not look at the details. Oh man, I was arguing with ChatGPT today for like the longest time. It keeps telling me that I need to put in this this if condition. And I keep trying to convince it that it doesn't need it. Because clearly it doesn't need it. Like, it's trying to say that, hey, under these circumstances, you might want to make sure that this bounds and stuff do not go out of bounds. I'm like, but it's never going to happen. That's what the other if condition is for. And it just refuses to acknowledge that, hey, I'm right. Oh my god, dude. It was so confidently telling me that I needed it. It gave me like a 20-30 line code answer when I only needed like 3 lines of changes. Absolute BS. want a bit more control, less control. You don't know. Maybe I'll just cut it short. We are going for expedited, right? So expedited shipping. Kind of big, the years. I went a little bit overboard, I think. As I always do. It should be kind of whatever. Let's go. Ooh, my tablet fell. Okay. Gotta update the counter. What do you want? And 218. There you go. Oh yeah, there's a. Yeah, that's fine. It is a bit higher than I will usually put it to. Shut this down. Do it like this. I think it's fine, right? We have our own alignment. Oh yeah, didn't I say I was gonna go with what's math natural? You enjoy that? Back. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be covered, isn't it? This might come in later then. Yeah, once it gets merged, it might be a problem. But I think in this case we don't care. It would be like those guys, but sideways, right? I think that's accurate. Yeah, I think it's time for that. I need this one. I don't need this one. Spooky. Wait, has that been? Is that 25 minutes? That's pretty long. A lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. Need one more back. Connect this up correctly. I take it to mean that I'm not really enjoying what I'm doing right now. That's just art is so fun, guys. It's so enjoyable. I didn't even notice it's been 25 minutes. Oh my god. Can you believe that? started to vary my lines automatically. So that part started up. Yeah, can you believe it? It's like every 60 seconds, like a minute passes. That's insane. Oh my god, that's crazy, dude. I guess we don't get music in the 5-minute rest period. Uh, Why not, though? Why do I not get music in my rest period, dude? We're not really resting either. Somehow, everything is wrong with this. Ah, yes, rain. I tried to listen to some keyboard ASMR today at work, and it's just so, it's not as good as rain, I feel like, for some reason. I don't think I get to work on what I wanted to work on today, but I think all the lines and stuff is quite important. I do want to stabilize a little bit before I start on the actual thing. There's also like this event going on where if you draw VR chat avatar and characters and stuff like that, you can post it to Twitter, post it to Pixiv, and you can enter a contest. Currently, it is being hosted by Pixiv, I do believe. If you get voted up, you get, what was it, like 55? Like 5,500 yen worth of credits or something. But it has to be VR chat stuff, and it ends in like December, so maybe I'll give that a try at some point. Yeah. I Shake the Thunder from last night. Sorry, that's a song. Yeah, it has to be VR chat characters. But let me see if I can find it actually. And Yabai. There should be a tag, I think. I don't know, this it looks like some really cool art. Because there's a lot of crazy artists in this server, but guess I'd it's not it. Isn't there a hashtag? I've sworn there's a hashtag. For some reason it's very abysmal. Yeah, I can't really find any art that people. I thought this was the criteria for joining the thing. Like participating in the event, that you have to tag all your illustrations with this tag, but clearly not. But yeah, basically like they have an official website here, and these are all the different avatars. If you play VR chat, you probably recognize quite a few of these. But this is where I am right now. I'm sitting at like in front of one of these monitors. They recently updated their the map for version 2.0 because it's been a year. It's 1 year anniversary. That's why they have this event going on as well. Yeah, they do have a tag here, but it's not very useful. It feels like. Oh wait, no, this doesn't even work because it's the other version. Oh, it's not go offline, so goodbye. Offline. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. So they're actually making something like Comic Cat, where you can meet your favorite creators. It's at Ikebukuro, Sunshine City, in April next year, it looks like. And it's the second time too. Oh, there's one this December? Oh, interesting. Very interesting. You make friends here, you can go meet them in real life, and then after that you guys can be more acquainted and do some stuff. Yeah, this is the event. So they have a collaboration with a Pixif, where 50 people can win up to 5,555 yens worth of whatever this currency is. I don't know what this is used for. And it's until December 7th here. Oh, I see. So you need to put this tag, VRC Creative, on Pixif. So let me see if I can find anything there. I wonder what people have already posted, if they have already posted anything. Oh yeah, there you go, 281 works. Oh my god, why is it telling me how to use Pixif, but... It's all done by like one person, dude. I guess they're just taking this tag, like using it for practice as well. Mostly character focused stuff. We don't have like hardcore background stuff. Because it is VR chat themed. So you have a lot of freedom because there's so many different maps in VR chat. Like you can get all your favorite avatars, put them in like a really beautiful map, and then now you have a really strong piece, a very strong contender, you know, with everything in there. Also, if you see like a lot of characters like this, for example, they all look similar and they all are posted around the same time, it's because they are hosting a, I forgot if it's weekly or monthly, like 1 hour draw event where you get 1 hour to draw something. Which is why like you get to see like this character by the name of Eku. Eku. Wow, this says no title, but you can see it's the same character. And oh, actually I see this person quite a lot in the server. But yeah, anyways, so this is a thing. This guy is in here right now, I'm pretty sure. This guy is always in the server. They do some pretty interesting stuff, like this. They always combine some kind of blue screen with like a character. And it's kind of like pixel art-esque. It's just really pixelated. I sent you guys some of these artists stuff. You can check them out if you guys want to. Yeah, I see another one that's like a 1 hour thing. It's like a lot of similar characters again. Oh, it's still Echo actually. Oh shit, that's not safe for it. Whoops. People are hijacking it for like nefarious purposes. I'm pretty sure that's against the terms and conditions, but nobody saw anything. But yeah, interesting stuff. Hey. It's just a little bit. It's fine. Yeah, I have to make this smaller then. It's fine too. Entry, check. It's not round enough. It's not round enough. Good enough for now, I think. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Already spent too much time on it, I think. So. Push. Increase. So the hair group. Huh? Yeah, it's still gonna be really flat, I think, if I do it like this. Oh, good stuff, Igami. I see you posted in the Discord here. Nice, nice, nice. Last night, how do you feel about it? Oh, try your best to render clothing. Nothing wrong with taking a break if that's what's taking a break for you. A very productive break. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like that everyone in the server doesn't shy away from colors. People are pushing for like using different colors, different lighting scenarios and stuff. I wish I was more like that. I'm still running away from colors. Yeah, it feels a little weird sometimes, I think. It's like a break, but not also not entirely a break. If you draw something that you rather that you find it fun, it still feels like a break, but yeah, you still have to make it draw good first. Yeah, well, you're still going for it, you know. That's pretty good. I haven't touched colors in a while. Touch some grass, touch some grass. I want to do like a quick sort of render and see, not render. Okay, yeah, I say it and then immediately I got scared. But let me grabby some colors over here. Let's use this. Alright, you know what? That's a bit too early. I'm gonna try to go for that render quality and see if I can get something similar with what my default set of lines over here. See how it feels. And I need to do this properly. I need to do it in the proper order. Yeah, let me try this. How well does this work or not work? With the setup lines. It seems to work pretty well, actually. As long as I don't touch the bottom here. And the hair. I'm gonna break everything. Good. I want to have some workflow that's really quick and feels really nice to do. So lines would be decently loose, shapes would be decently big, and so on and so forth, right? You keep things big and keep things moving. And nice to know that the paint bucket works to some extent. At least I don't have to go over every single thing. The lines being a little bit rougher is causing a little bit of issues. Like you can see some white spots in the middle of the lines. Oh, hello, Raz. Welcome. We are I'm trying to sort out a set of a workflow and a quality control for rendered. Something that's a little bit more rendered, but also not super duper rendered. Something that just helps us work fast, but also with colors and shapes. Because, yeah, like, I'm still really traumatized by colors and shapes. I feel like every time I try to tackle it, I try to make it look as good as possible. And that actually has a negative effect. Because I get too really scared of what I'm doing. So I need something loose here, but it still looks fine. Trying to get a proof of concept out. Lots of health issues and everything I haven't. Oh my god, that's not great. I hope you're feeling much better now. If you being here means you're feeling much better now, I hope that's the case. Sorry, that was a weird phrasing. October has also been pretty rough for me. But thanks to whatever that I've been doing in October, you know, and falling sick twice, and going to the hospital once, I think I kind of have a pretty good idea of where my limit, like physical limit, is. And I'm setting out some boundaries to prevent that from happening again. As long as I don't forget, it should be fine, I think. I see. Are you overworking, Raz? Are you working too hard? It always sounds like you're working too hard. The only thing my streams have managed to do was put people to sleep. The only confirmed reports of health benefits. Sleep. Get knocked out because it's so boring, nothing's happening, and then the music's like this. Yeah, I think that's a sure sign that you're really hardworking, you know. Because people who are really hardworking often feel like they don't do enough. And based on what what I've seen so far, you know, you've been overseas, you've been doing all those late night practices and stuff. And I still see you being really active. You're still one of the more active individuals in the Discord, posting stuff pretty regularly. From everything I've seen, I don't think you're not enough. Is that phrased correctly? I think you're doing quite a bit. And if you still feel like that, that just confirms it, I think. It's like, oh yeah. Sounds about right. Oh yeah, Igami, do you want the link, by the way? Of the music? Oh, that thumb is a bit too high, I think. Actually, maybe not. Maybe it still works. I feel like it's a little high. Oh, I'm not qualified, man. I'm not qualified to do therapy session. I used to do that for my friend, but that's because we speak for 3 hours a day. outside of like university work assignment context, right? Just like chatting about random shit. So I know a lot about how he feels, and over the years is like I have like this idea of like what's going on and how they feel about certain things in my head. So it becomes a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, I think you're probably just feeling this, you know, like you should probably try something like this. It's a train. Oh yeah, it is the same person, but it's a different video. This one is the same guy, but it says Shibuya, Shibuya, Shibuya. I don't have a lot of friends, but the ones that I do have are mostly pretty close. Like we are, uh, well, in university, I basically only have 2 dudes left. I've only like met like less than 10 people. I really talked to less than 10 people, and I only talked to 0.2 of them at this point. With the frequency of communication is basically non-existent. But yeah, like less connections, but more tight-knit connections is how I like to have my friends. It's nice to know a lot of people, right? But like it feels so surface level. It feels like it's kind of lacking. Oh, my brain is kind of slow today. I'm not processing this. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm doing quality control check. I'm not checking for workload here or efficiency here. You want to have a therapy friend, Igami? I'm gonna skip past this period of non-music. Come on. Yeah, there's only so far you can. There's only so far you can go. So much you can do, with like just talking to yourself. I do that a lot, but that's just like certain things you will never see, just because you know, you're still by yourself. You'll never be able to know the stuff that you don't know. Now that you mentioned it, I feel like I haven't really been a very good listener for the most part. Because most of those 3 hours, I'm mostly the one talking and doing analysis. And I think he gained a lot just by listening to what I'm saying. Or at least that's what he's telling me. But yeah. Despite being like a more, I think, generally don't really want to talk to people kind of person, I do talk a lot for that kind of a person, I think. Yeah, I haven't been listening as much. They haven't been very keen on sharing certain things as well. And I've, what was it? Was it some Reddit thread or something? There was a thread some time ago where it's about like, what are some signs where of a person's behavior that lets you know that they are perhaps like not necessarily abused like physically, but maybe emotionally abused, and maybe not even to the extent, but just maybe neglected, right? Like one of the signs was that like they always apologize for no reason, for no apparent reason, right? For to them clearly there is a reason for that. And then there is also the fact that what was it, that they always don't talk about themselves because they feel like what they like them themselves are not worth talking about. That's why they don't talk about themselves. Not necessarily because they want to hide anything, but just because they don't think they're that interesting. And I do feel that. And it's interesting because this friend that I'm talking about, that we spoke for like 3 hours a day, I still don't really know a lot about him. Just because he's never really talked about it. News, Asian girl rather talk with the man online than see a therapist. I need one more layer for the teacup and one more for the black part of the clothing. And the buttons. Yeah, up till this point is still in control. Once we get into getting shapes, that is the problem. The bigger problem is getting good shapes, getting big enough shapes, but still detailed enough shapes that look interesting, but not too small where it becomes overwhelming. And also the color tuning, that has always been really difficult. I almost said really difficult. Seriously, being able to communicate a bit more probably through messages. Is that so? Is that right? Interesting. Communication. Yeah. Yeah. It really helps, right? To see your message in front of you before you like really send it and commit to it. Speaking, you're always so exposed. Anytime you open your mouth, people are already gathering information about you. There's no layer of there's nothing to hide behind for a little bit. Okay. Oh, I forgot the thing in the middle. Why do I care? I don't care. I should care, but I do not. This is a test piece. I wasn't even supposed to spend this long on this. I don't know what's it like for you guys. For me, like ever since I was young, my mom's always like, "Hey, you shouldn't talk about stuff to people you don't need to talk to them about. You know, like you should keep information close to your heart, especially personal information. You know, be it if it's your address. You know, like as a kid, your parents are like worried that hey, you're gonna tell everyone your fucking address, strangers your address and shit like that. But like even beyond that, just like in general, personal information you should be kept private. And I get the idea. But then there's just this distance then. Like if you don't share anything with your friends or like stuff like that, you just have this distance there. Oh yeah? He's still getting there. Oh shit, I can't get rid of that. I always thought I'm not the kind that would yap too much about myself, but apparently I am, I think. From what I've seen so far, I think I tend to yap more about myself than listen to other people yap about themselves. Yeah, it's just like an Asian thing, I guess. I don't have any other Wi-Fi. Okay, that's fine. Yes, sir. That is fine, fine. Fine. I love talking. Nice, dude. Okay, I want to do... Ah, no, I don't really care. It's not gonna really spill over anyways. Oh, right, yeah, no. Actually, I don't know. I think I always feel like for the most part of my life, I don't actually know a lot about myself, I feel like. People always say like, hey, I like this, I like that, you know, stuff like that. I never really knew what I like or don't like. Like, it was never really that clear to me. I think it's been, yeah, it took a long time before that really happened. Maybe even more recent years. I think after I started playing VR chat, I became a little bit more aware of my own emotions because I get to talk to people, more people, and then notice different things about people. I don't know where I'm going with this, because my quality... big shapes, right? Big shapes, but like the only thing I can try is the clothing, which is fine. That's fine, that's fine. And then the hair, it would just be... I can vaguely see some ideas in the thing. But do what we can. You know what? No reason to make it more complicated. I'm just gonna split layers. A deeper sense of thing to understand a certain topic or information. Yeah, right and wrong. I think my issue is probably I've just been alone for the most of my life. I mean, it's not necessarily true. I do have friends and stuff, but I've been mostly keeping to myself, I think. That's why I don't know a lot of things. I haven't really been like forced to think about certain things in certain ways necessarily. But I can see how that would right, you're just basically being told to think in a certain way essentially. And that makes your opinion matter less, and then you therefore don't really think about it as much. So on and so forth. The right and wrong thing is always very interesting to me, because I feel like right and wrong only exists if you have an objective, if you have something to measure it with. It's like technology is inherently neutral, depending on how you use it, kind of vibes. And I always feel very iffy saying that, because it feels like it's a slippery slope. Because then, like, a lot of bad things can be construed as good in certain situations. Is that what I'm saying? Like but I don't know why I'm talking about that, but... What do I want to do here? Like, the original lighting has all of this in the shadow, basically. It would just be knocked out like that. Deep fried. Let's not do that. No, Igami, I think that's already much better than me. I can't really feel people's emotions that well. I can get a sense of like if they're annoyed or like if I should continue or stop a certain conversation, like social cues like that. But if you want to ask me and like exactly what kind of emotion that they might be feeling and stuff like that, for the most part I don't know, because I don't really know how I'm feeling. I think even now I'm still kind of confused what hunger feels like. You just kind of eat at a certain time and you kind of stop. But I couldn't quite differentiate hunger between hunger and like or like pain or something. It's like kind of weird sometimes. So like empathy, I don't know what is judged by, because if you can't get social cues, I imagine there's some empathy there. But like if someone's really sad, I wouldn't really feel sad, you know, like I would just be like, oh yeah, like if someone's going through like a super tough time, to me it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I guess yeah, it must be terrible, right? Like it's, but I don't feel anything. I don't know if you're supposed to feel anything. I don't know what neurodivergent means. I think for the most part I haven't really explored that whole side of yeah, basically neurodivergent, right? Like all the spectrums and stuff. Because I like sometimes I'm talking about this and then some of you guys might be like, oh yeah, this seems kind of like an ADHD kind of ADD kind of symptom. But I don't really, I haven't talked to any doctors about it. It's not really affecting my life to that extent, you know, like that I've seen how it affected other people. So I think for the most part I should be pretty okay, is what I like to think. But it's kind of hard to tell. Very, very interesting. Oh no, it's fine. I wouldn't take offense to anything. Like I don't think it's very fair to be like just, hey, you said something I don't like, I take offense to that. Like we, you know, for the most part we don't know each other all that well. I think asking a question like this makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, like this reminds me of every time in VR chat, you know, like you meet someone for the first time, you don't know shit about them, they don't know shit about you, so you have to ask. But like if you ask about stuff, then it's like, how much can I ask, right? At what point am I gonna step on, say something that they don't like? How do I know if that's the case? It's always a very anxiety driven. That's why when I approach people in VR chat, I don't really like doing like the really formal way. We just go straight into informal. We just go straight into whatever the hell I usually do. And that basically gives me a really good idea of how they respond. And I can know if we are like on the same wavelength. And only if we're on the same wavelength do I really continue. Otherwise it's kind of stressful. So I completely get what you're feeling. And I'm completely okay with whatever nonsense that you guys want to ask. Like anything is fine. If I can't answer, I'll just let you know. Right. I think that's fair. Because what else are you gonna do? Like from your point of view, you know, I should be grateful, and I am grateful that people actually are interested, taking interest in me. I think that's a decently new concept for the most part. Sorry, the cups needs to not stop being blue. Yeah, human communication is difficult, very difficult. I don't know why I'm using this really colorful colors, but I guess colors doesn't really matter at this point. I just want shapes. Please God, give me good shapes. But I don't know how to do this. Like now I'm stuck. Congrats. Because it's just like a wall of hair, right? It doesn't really have any cool shapes there, per se. I guess I'll do what I can here. Sympathy and empathy. Sympathy. Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm not really sure which one it is now. Because I think empathy is being understanding of other people's emotions, like understanding what they're feeling. And sympathy is just being able to. Yeah, but it's the same thing, right? If you're able to feel sorry and relate to them, then that is the same as empathy. Oh. I forgot. What difference? I mean, it's in today's world, honestly, like this is really very rare, I think. Sympathy is feeling concern or sorrow. So specifically like sadness, I guess, for someone else's misfortune from a distance. While empathy is the ability to understand and share their feelings. So this is a little bit more of like a generic thing. I don't know if I necessarily... I think if that's the case, then sympathy is probably what I struggle with. Because I don't really feel sad for anything. Do I feel sad for anything? Do I feel sad for myself? I'm not even sure. Because most of the time, if anything bad happens, it's more of just a what can I do about it and less of I feel sad. Like, I don't think like feelings matter too much in that situation. But empathy, I think maybe I can relate a bit more if it's stuff that I've experienced before. Maybe that's what it... Before, so I think I can really understand a few. Rest. Yeah, that is true, right? Like, if you're really... if you're trying to relate to them, you want to be sharing something about yourself that shows that you can relate to them, and then that's all of a sudden becomes like, hey, why are you talking about yourself? Huh? Why are you making it about yourself? That is true. It's so hard, man. Like, you can do your absolute best to try and make someone feel better, and they can still not like you because it rubs them the wrong way. Such a pain, yes, dude. Oh my god. Oh man, dude. You know what? I think I do need to find more artists for advice. I think I should change my strategy a little bit. I should do something like this to my absolute darndest, and then I'm gonna find someone for advice and see how they would permute different shapes or like different colors or different moods and base off of what I already have. I think that would be the easiest way to go forwards, because like as it stands right now, I could spend a bunch of time trying a bunch of shit, but it's gonna take a while. So let me just pivot. I think at some point in the past, I also thought about just throwing a bunch of money at different artists to get them to draw my character, so I get an idea of what they would draw it as, like my favorite artists, how they would approach the different problems. I think that is not necessary because this process has it would probably work if I keep going, but it's kind of become stale, and I am also very overwhelmed at this point. It is time to change my strategy. But anyway, sorry for the tangent. Oh, if you wanna, Raz, there is the first thing that came to mind is a Scab, because Scab specifically has a advice column. Sorry, I don't use it that often, as you might deduce, but yeah, there is like advice, advice here. So if you like search for, I don't actually know how to use the website. It's so weird. Oh, so these are people. I guess these are artists showcasing their own work, and then they're either seeking for jobs that's advice related, or they're not seeking, right? Something like so. For example, this here, this guy is the artist, and of course, also by the way, it's all Japanese. But at least with ChatGPT nowadays, you should be a little bit more accessible. But yeah, so if you just go to Scat, for example, you can send them a photo. Oh, sorry. My God. Send them an illustration. You can tell them everything you want to ask them about, and then they will reply. And I don't know if they charge by words or they charge by hour or charge by something, or they charge by per request, I think. And it's up to them to decide how much they want to talk based on the amount of money that you're gonna pay, I think. And I don't know if, since you haven't been here in a while, I just want to let you know that currently there is a communication with respect to this artist here. That George, if you're still here, is George here today? I don't think I saw him today actually. But thanks to George, who emailed this artist on my behalf, not officially, but like just kind of like, hey, he said like, hey, I have a friend who's currently in the slump right now and doesn't really know what to do with art, and then basically because of that, we are currently in the multi-email conversation with this artist and their management to try and get some feedback specifically for let me, oh my god, the beep. What do you mean you take breaks every 25 minutes? You're supposed to work 3 hours in a row with no breaks. Hang on. So this here, we did this before, right? Remember? I don't know if you remember this, but so yeah, basically I've sent them this. I've sent them a bunch of questions. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's okay. It is paid. I'm not talking about how much dollar bills it's gonna cost, because George wants to pay them for me. So I'll just leave that information up to him if he wants to disseminate or not. But it's not cheap, I can say that. But like basically they have agreed, and they've also agreed, as far as I can tell, to do so on stream with us. The only main problem is timing. So it would likely not be our usual timing, simply because they're in Japan, I'm not in Japan. So it's not really gonna match up, right? Sorry, why is my music not playing? Why does it choke here, dude? Okay, never mind, I'm just gonna restart it. No difference anyways. But yes, so you can either go to Scap, going back to your original question. So by the way, this artist is really cool. They have a lot of good shapes in general. Like their whole spiel is having good textures and good shapes and like all these details here and there, right? And it's a lot more about the mood. It's a lot more about the storytelling. So it's really good stuff, right? And some of the questions I want to ask them is basically first impressions. What do you think when you first see this? What would you change, right? Like without me telling you what is it that I want, how would you change this? Or like, and then other stuff includes stuff like, hey, how would you paint the ground? Like if you look at my version and their version, this is very, very messy, very not as hard edge as I would like it to be. Same for the grass, right? Especially in these corners here, it's a bit of a mess over here. And I'm just curious how they will approach it. I would like to know. I don't think this is bad necessarily, but it's just like since George provided this very valuable opportunity. This is the most completed piece I have. This is the piece that we went all out with. I think it's probably the best one to go forwards with, because no point showing them something like this. It's like, what do you want from me? You know, like it's not even in my same ballpark. So anyways, so you could go for Scap, stuff like this. It's basically like the same thing that I'm doing with the emails, except instead of just a text, I think they're gonna be in a voice call and actually present live. They're gonna prepare certain teaching materials and they're gonna present live, as in like they're gonna paint live, which is oh my god, I don't know how that stream is gonna go. I'm a little bit stressed out because I'm kind of afraid of my Japanese not being enough. But so that's why I'm trying to practice a bit more if possible. But yeah, email people directly or do it here. I don't know if most artists do advice and stuff like that, but as long as they have an email, you know, probably worth giving it a shot. Now that George has made this work for one artist, I'm kind of curious how far we can go, right? Because like any other artist that has an email, maybe we can get them to at least provide some feedback. If not, do we know when? Not yet. I am currently actually the email that I'm about to send is the one that's gonna try and set up the specific time. There is a lot of stuff that I'm still deliberating about on how to communicate it to them, because they're like, hey, we're okay with being on stream, but can you let us know how your stream is gonna go? But I have no experience. Like, what am I gonna tell them? You know, like I don't know what to tell them. So I'm trying to phrase it in a nice, polite way to let them know that, hey, I have some ideas, but I have also no experience. So if you guys have any comments or ideas, please also do let me know, and we can work something out together. Also, by the way, I'm free on this day and that day and so on and so forth. I'm gonna make it super easy for them to set up a time, because I'm basically telling them that, hey, anytime you want, I can make it work, right? Because even though we're 17 hours apart, for the most part, it actually works out fine. Like their 9 a.m. is like 4 p.m. for me, right? I'm awake at 4 p.m. In fact, it's just nice after work. I can get off work a little bit earlier, you know. I don't have to necessarily take a day off. So, and they're 6 p.m. So at the end of a normal work day, it's 1 a.m. for me. I usually stream to 1 a.m. That's perfect, right? I don't care. So weekdays always work. Weekends, 24/7, man. I'm open 24/7. Actually, it's kind of sad because my email is going to tell them that I have currently no plans for the entirety of November. I think it sounds very sad, but I imagine it'll be soon. I don't think they want to drag this out. Their communication has sort of gotten a little bit faster since the initial emails. So I get the feeling that they want to get it done. They want to get it out. Not necessarily like, hey, I think this is a chore kind of thing. But just, yeah, let's get this going, you know. So I imagine it'll be the next few weeks. I'm gonna absolutely try to send the email out tonight, which is daytime for them. Sorry, wait, if I send out, actually no, it's already end of workday for them already. So yeah, earliest I expect a reply by Friday. I imagine they'll probably take some time to deliberate on the stuff they were talking about and communicating about, and then sorry. But do know that it's not going to be at the usual timing. I don't know if they like it to be at the normal workday, or would they rather do it outside of their normal workday. I don't know if they're doing art, most likely not as a hobby, right? They seem very professional with art, especially if they have a management. Yeah, you know what? They have a management that is managing the emails on their behalf. Yeah, it's gotta be full time, right? So like if it's during normal work hours, it's probably, yeah, there's a good chance that's gonna be. But either way, there's two caveats to this. The first one being that I don't know when it's gonna be. It may not be at the usual timing, so people might not make it. The second thing being that it's gonna be done entirely in Japanese, because I don't want to make it difficult for them to have to wait for me to explain stuff in English, right? And especially if I start doing stuff in English. Number one, they might not know what I'm talking about. They probably won't know what I'm talking about. It might make them feel weird. Number two, it opens up a conversation with you guys as well. And if the conversation isn't two-way, if I'm not relaying what you guys are saying to him or like so on and so forth, it might become a little awkward. So it's going to be done entirely in Japanese. So throughout that entire sequence, it's probably going to be pretty hard to understand. Because I don't know what level of Japanese we're going to be speaking with. There's a good chance that it would be pretty formal. I'm hoping at least it's not going to be like business formal. If it's business formal, which I'm going to prepare for actually, that is going to be a lot of work. But yeah, anyways, so the plan is either right after we finish the session, he drops off the call. I will just immediately go back and go through all the points again, right? That's number one. Number two is that I would make a, whatchamacallit, a video out of it. If they're okay with me editing what they're saying and translating, you know, because sometimes when you edit people's stuff, it might be taken out of context, whether if it's intentionally or by accident. So I'll see if they're okay with that. If they're okay with that, we might be able to just come out with a video too, right? Like, it would be really cool to have a video of this, right? This is like actually good content, right? If you can get really good artists to come on and share their process and share their feedback on a specific piece that you have done, that's really good content. And so long as they're okay with me making it, because you know, if I'm making a video, it'll probably be monetized. Are they okay with it being monetized? And it's my main concern. But anyways, that's currently what's going on in the works, and it could start us down the path, set us on a path where we do more interviews in the future. Okay, I'm saying interviews because that's how my brain is phrasing it, but it's really not really gonna be an interview. Interview implies that we are taking charge of the stream and we're asking questions and facilitating the flow. More likely than not, it would be more of like a class, like a master class, where they would take control, and I'm mostly just here to act as a student on my behalf and also on your guys' behalf, right? If you guys have questions, you guys can always throw in the chat, and if it's relevant, if it's a good timing, it's a good way to ask, or if it's not already answered, I'll probably just also ask, right? There's a chance it might be answered. But anyways. So yeah, that's in the works. It's very exciting. Slightly worrying, but also very exciting. And hopefully we do some good shit. You know, leave a good first impression, not just on this artist, but also on future individuals who might also be a part of this new and exciting format, shall we say. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff. So asking for feedback, yeah, like this might be the new plan here. I might also dump some money into scab commissions and stuff just to get a feel for what other people, how other people will approach certain topics. Yeah, you guys might remember George did actually ask like, hey, what do you guys feel about what do I feel about like getting a feedback session with this artist, or so on and so forth. Although he always asks that pretty early in the stream, so I don't know if you guys necessarily hear, but yeah, Scab. There's recently been quite a bit of interesting news with Scab because people don't really get the idea of the culture of Scab, because Scab refers to sketchbook, right? And the whole idea is that you don't really ask for fixes. You get what you get, you know, like what you get is what you get. It's what Scab is supposed to be. Because it's born of a culture back in the day where in Comic Cat people would trade sketchbooks, or they bring the sketchbooks for their favorite artist to draw in them, as long as, you know, they buy something from them, so it's not just a very one-sided thing. But you get what you get, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. But then people get confused, and then they might be like, hey, this is a commission, I'm paying money for this, why are you uploading this without my permission, you know? Or why are you not allowing me to get some fixes here and there, you know? That's not how it works. And then I think recently there's been some confusion on the Western side, and some more popular was it like famous people or not famous people? I don't really know. I'm not really following it that well. But some people are like, hey, this artist didn't do this, go and defame them or some shit. Like they were like basically, I don't think the Shy Lily one was a valid one. I believe she said that the Scab comment was not made in relation to what she was saying about her commission being posted without permission. She just it was really bad timing, I imagine. I don't know if it's damage control or not, but if we give them the benefit of the doubt, it would appear that they have just placed that comment at the wrong place at the wrong time, which made it appear as though like they are, you know, they're really self-entitled to the thing and they didn't understand the process. But they later sent a tweet clarifying that, hey, it's just a misunderstanding. But anyways, Scab I think is interesting. I've only done Scab once. The problem with Scab is payment. Just because like credit cards don't really work so well. So Japanese credit cards apparently have like a special magnetic chip in them or something like that enables certain payment. I don't really know how it works. I'm not very familiar with the process, but yeah, I think the payment was a bit of a problem last time. I had to trade in some points from somewhere else or some shit in order to make it work, to actually pay them. But I'll figure it out, I think. But what I do have to also figure out is a good reference sheet for my character. As the virus has pointed out many times. It is still not very present. It's not very available. I could just give them what I have, and that's fine too. But like, and also I have a different problem because my character has a lot of scars, and I don't know if people like the implication of the scars, and there might be people who are not okay with drawing stuff like that. So I also have to approach that a little bit carefully. No, I was just saying that you were looking. You've been asking for the character reference sheet a few times. I know, like you've said that you also don't feel quite ready at this point in time, but it just reminded me of that as we were talking about. I wanted to get some scab commissions, which means I do need to get that sorted out, So yeah, that was that. Don't worry, I'm not talking behind your back. Not bad things, at least. Yeah, how do you get good shapes? I'm so convinced that like okay, I need man. Get good, man. Get good. Why am I so fucking bad, dude? Holy shit. I need shapes, bro. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. I don't want people to feel like they if they're going against everybody's opinions and they don't speak. Also, this reminds me. If any one of you guys feel like I'm being a hypocrite or I'm self-contradicting, just point it out. That's the thing I absolutely hate the most. I try to say what I feel most of the time. I want to be as honest as I can, but there is still a chance that I just happen to feel differently each time, and then it comes off as like being really hypocritical or being self-contradicting, and I absolutely hate that. So feel free to absolutely bash me for that if you do catch me in the act, because I'm probably not noticing. Because if I try to keep tabs on what I'm saying every time. But yeah, like if I say shit that doesn't make sense, just ask me to explain it. I want to be held accountable. Instant coffee or brewed? I don't drink caffeine at all. but okay, but if I am drinking coffee, it's either from like the coffee machine, which I guess is instant coffee, or I will go to Tim Hortons, in which case it would be actual coffee. I actually can't tell the difference. I put too much sugar in it anyways, so yeah, it makes no difference, honestly. Man, it sucks, dude. I love the taste of coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I just don't like the aftertaste, and I cannot really handle the caffeine in my heart because I don't drink it enough, right? And also recently we have this heart health scare, which has, by the way, resolved. It seems for the most part, I'm not feeling my heart doing weird palpitations anymore. So I think it was just fatigue. I was pushing myself a little bit too hard. But just in case, I'm not really drinking any caffeine. I'm taking any caffeine, not even tea. Like tea is also out of the question here. Sugar and coffee to disable caffeine? I don't think that's true, man. I've had some really, really sweet coffees, and I just absolutely go batshit insane, just because sugar rush plus coffee. Holy shit, that is potent. That is so potent. Man, I want to drink some coffee right now, man. Like, it's so nice. The taste is so nice. And I don't feel like it's just the, I'm being, caffeine addicted, because I don't drink it that often, so. Yeah, I'm just craving for some shit right now. Okay. So I want to go a little bit further here. So unfortunately, I told my friend I was going to work on his character today, but I guess I'm not. Just because I'm trying to sort this out. Right, we want some lines in here and there and stuff like that. Do they have anything that is like super long hair and stuff? But yeah, sorry, I don't think I gave a proper conclusion. But yeah, with respect to getting feedback, I think either emails or this. What Raz was asking. We went from like getting therapy sessions to like getting feedback to like what? Actually, I forgot. My God. It's been getting pretty bad, my short-term memory. Right, here we go. So They don't have any necessarily a very long, flowy hair that is very visible. It's mostly just like, oh, okay, how about this? But this is really rough though. Like, this doesn't really help me in any way, I don't think. Sorry, how did what feedback go? Coffee smells so good, I kinda... Oh, you don't like the taste, Raz? Even if there's like a lot of sugar in it? The hell we pay for it? Not yet, Duvet. That's way, way down the line. Because we haven't really set up a session yet. And they're still asking me for clarification on what is it that I want to find out from them. And at this point, I'm actually not really sure what they have understood as what I want and what... Like, what that list of questions that I've sent them before. I don't know if they have understood or are preparing for the entirety of it, because it seems like they're asking me for more questions. So it's like, why? What? Like, huh? There's some miscomm here and there. I'm not 100% sure. So it's gonna be, we're gonna find out. Yeah, the aftertaste is like too sour and like too stinky. It's very distracting. It's like, it's almost on par with like eating like an entire clove of garlic. Okay, garlic is way worse, but it is definitely out there. I don't like it. Also, yeah, Raz, not taking sugar is good, I think. I don't know what your reasons are. Perhaps like other health reasons, which may be, I guess, not the best reason. But I guess not taking more sugar in general is just I think it's a good thing. I am unfortunately incapable of doing so. I am absolutely addicted to sugar. There's just so much sugar everywhere. Like, you go to Tim Hortons, you buy like one donut, there's like 5 bajillion tons of sugar in there. It's like free, dude. Like, sugar is like fucking free here or something. Like North America. Okay, yeah, like this is the cleanest I have seen so far. And a lot of this is like lines. And we do have lines. It's not as thick. And not as it's not as thick, I think, it's just in general. The lines do some of the work. I don't know where to go from it. Like, what do I what is that I'm stuck on? I don't actually know. Because if I want to copy it, I can, right? Can I? Oh, fruits. Yes. Man, subpar, man. Well, that's my GG one. What did I do here? Oh, I didn't really do anything. Most of the weight is carried by the fact that there's 2 colors in her hair. So there's a bunch of lines, I suppose. Also a bunch of lines, I suppose. Okay, let's not do anything funky with like opacity or like different colors. I just want one color and I want to work with this. So what am I gonna do? Who is that in the back? Some other person. Come on. Sorry, I'm looking in game. I'm trying to see if my friend's back yet. But it seems like he is alive because he went out for food and he's not back. How nice. Yeah, like he actually asked like if I take commissions or like stuff like that as well. And yeah, it's the same issue, right? Like, as if I'm not consistent, how do I take commissions? Like even I don't know what I can expect, like the quality of render and art that I'm gonna do. How am I gonna sell it? You know. Doesn't really, it's not fair to the people they're commissioning. I get like there's like the whole if you take commissions, you're basically paid to practice and stuff like that. I don't like it. I think if you're taking money for something, it should be, their expectations should be really clear, right? You guys should know what you're getting out of it. Because I know what I'm getting out of it. I know specifically a set amount of money is what I'm gonna get out of it. But I think it's really unfair if they don't know what kind of quality they're gonna get out of it. Yeah, Raz, I see that you do take quite a bit of commissions. And I do really, really respect you for that. On top of everything else, additional commitments, stuff like getting commissions. Whenever money is involved, right, things become a little bit more complicated. Just a little, ever so slightly more complicated. You know, you worry just ever so slightly a little bit more about certain things. And fruit lack glucose and sugar. Oh, if you juice your fruits, it becomes free floating sugar, which is bad. Oh, interesting. Ah, man. What am I doing, dude? What are you doing, bro? Oh my god. Let me think though, like this path is so hard to walk. It's so surprisingly hard to walk. Just keep walking, right? But like, it feels like I'm not going anywhere. It feels like I'm going around in circles. Wait, hang on. This artist that we are about to have a session with, do they draw hair in a specific way? How do they draw hair again? Big shapes, I think, again? I see. Yeah, like these shapes here as well. So we're not like doing a bunch of lines, right? Like we're not really breaking up these big shapes like that. We're only doing some very minor stuff along these edges. So like probably this part should have been kept together, but they have the bonus where they don't have the lines in there in the first place. It's just one block. Yeah, Rez, I'm also actually gonna ask them about the textures that they're using. I want to know like this kind of textures, clearly custom brushes, right? Especially with like backgrounds and stuff like trees and stuff like that. I'm just curious how they made it. Do they made it from someone else's photograph or their own photograph? If they're making it from photograph, like what kind of photograph would be good? And so on and so forth. So my usual render? What is my usual render? Oh man. I like this part where like you guys can clearly see a style in the way that I'm doing things, but I just absolutely do not see shit. It's just like every time I look at a blank canvas, it's just as I'm just as clueless as I have been for the past 10 years. When it comes to colors at least. Lines at least nowadays, I'm actually actively trying to align to the same sort of face proportions, at least for hollow. And I think that's kind of helped a little bit in keeping stuff consistent. And I'm not sure about these ones here specifically, how they fit in that picture, because I think when I draw my character, I have a tendency to move the mouth really close to the edge. Whereas if it's like another... Actually now I'm not sure. But yeah, these ones here, they're a little bit closer in the face. Sorry, deeper in the face. Yokohama Seaside, 8K, 60 FPS. I was watching this at work. Anyways, not really. Very immediately distinct between light and dark, which is kind of different. Yeah, the colors that's being used. I would like to think, you know, like the shapes and the colors are two separate ideas, right? Like they're two separate things. And I guess like technically they are, but then if you have a very specific palette where, let's say for example, the value difference isn't enough, then certain, like all these tiny shapes would therefore be lost, right? It would be a lot less visible. So to some extent they're separate, but to some extent they are kind of still rather related. So I don't know, like also like if there's any point in thinking about this, because like it's just you draw what you like to see. But yeah, like it's so what am I saying here, right? If I like what I'm seeing in their stuff with the way they do hair and big shapes and stuff, then possibly I will have to stop drawing the hair like this in the line art because it's already breaking up the shapes. Even if I merge all of this together, it is still going to be broken up by these lines here. That's a bit better if I don't put in the lines like that, but it's still gonna be like that. But because this is the more natural way for me to draw hair, at least in the line stage, right? So far, I really like this set of lines I did over here. And this one, it just in general has a lot of lines everywhere. And what am I saying? I'm trying to find like a rendering that kind of works with this style instead, but still keep shapes big. No, but I can still lower the number of lines, can I not? If I just keep this as like big bundles instead. Big bundles of hair and not put anything in here, then that gives me an opportunity to put big shapes in there. So maybe like these guys that are cutting in is kind of interfering a little bit more than I would like. Maybe these guys, these three specific blocks here are the problem. Yeah, if you ask a lot of people what they might like of this piece, maybe it's the booty, maybe it's the legs, but for me it's really absolutely the hair. Like the lines that I have here is so interesting. They flow, and yet they flow well, and they have a good balance between like thick and thin, right? Between the border lines and the lines inside, and also within each individual line there are line weight transitions here and there. But with this thick of a line, it becomes very graphic. I think it becomes a lot more stylized, a little bit further away from like this style that we were looking at before. This one, and as well as the other individual here. Specifically, it was this piece here. Because if the lines is too thick, it has too much. Right, Keat. Oh yeah, Keaton. A translucent feeling. A translucent feeling. Interesting. Might be the gamut, perhaps. The bright stuff are really bright. I think that might contribute to stuff being really translucent. Because the bright parts are pretty bright, and then the shadow parts generally seem to be quite affected. There's a lot of these kind of glows. This one's a little bit more muted, I think. And the shadows. But like, yeah, the shadows like here is like super duper faded. Presumably because of the amount of bright stuff, maybe the bloom and stuff. That, I think, maybe give it a little bit more translucent. At least that's my understanding of the word translucent, I think. I'm not sure. So what? Now what? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like the back pair, man. Like how many years has it been? I'm still struggling with this. Like every time I look at ass stuff, actually, if I think of interesting, ass is like a trigger word or something for me. I think of the word ask, the artist ask, and then I can kind of see some variations in the hair. kind of funny. But we do have this board here. Sorry, not even this. That's the wrong board. Get out of here. That's not the board. Wait, what? Where's that hair one then? Oh, it's here. Lamau. Oh, I'm glad you think so highly of them, Res. It's it really is just a, hey, you can put shapes with these brushes like this and it would be fine, but is there really that much value being provided in those videos? I always wonder. Yeah, you know, like some of these feedbacks that I think I want to get, like for example, just for example, right? I don't think we're gonna get there. Well, not anytime soon, but like let's say we get like a master class with Ask, right? Or let's say we get a master class with this new artist. They will be sharing stuff, right? The way that they work and some ideas and stuff. But I don't know if I will necessarily really learn that much from it. Because I don't know where the gap is in my knowledge at this point. Because if you show me something, I can be like, oh yeah, there's big shapes here, and then they add some details on top of that. Pretty straightforward. But if I want to draw it, I can't, right? So there is a gap there. But then what is that gap? And I don't think that gap is really gonna get filled by some of these feedback sessions. Actually, no. If it's like a very targeted feedback with respect to what I have done and how they would have improved on it, then maybe. Yeah, but anyways, what I'm trying to say was that like I feel like sometimes I'm really worried that we take time out of other people's lives for feedback and stuff, and I just don't fucking get it. I just don't learn anything. That's what I'm really worried about. Like imagine if I spend like if the guys spend like this upcoming thing that we have, right? I keep saying that it was set in stone. It's not really necessarily set in stone because we haven't finished communications yet and we haven't paid yet, so it's not set in stone, but I'm assuming that it is, right? But like imagine this upcoming thing, they prepare for like hours on their side, they present for like an hour or 2 hours on stream, and I just don't fucking get a single thing, dude. I'm just like, oh yeah, はいそうですね、すごいですね、なんかこのやり方めっちゃいいんですよね。なんか、あー、オッケーオッケー、なるほどね、なるほど、なるほど。And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, oh, what do I do now? Like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Like, man, I'm gonna, like, how would they feel, like, as an artist who has, you know, like, oh, man, I'm so worried, guys. I'm so worried, guys. That's why, like, honestly, the moment this became like an on-stream thing, I have already pivoted off of trying to learn things, because to some extent that is recorded. I can always watch it again, you know. Presumably they're gonna make some study materials and then I can practice with that. But the moment this became an on-stream thing, my priority has shifted over from learning to just making it a good experience for them. Once again, I don't know if they're a guy or a girl, male or female, but like also for you guys as a watching experience. And I think with the fact that it's gonna be done in Japanese, probably for you guys, the only thing I can really do is make sure shit doesn't go wrong. And then with respect to them, it's just that, hey, in events where I just like absolutely brain fart for like 2.5 hours, how can I at least make it so that, you know, the relationship is amicable and that we have a pleasant time communicating? That is just oh my god, that's gonna be a bit of a prep. I'm actually gonna go to like ChatGPT or something and be like, hey, this is the thing that's gonna happen. Can you tell me all the ways that it can go wrong? Can you tell me everything that it can go wrong? And can you tell me how to deal with it? Please? And also in formal, really formal Japanese, how I should react. And then I will just be rehearsing that. You guys probably won't see me do this, but I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer. I'm just gonna be like practicing and rehearsing. Hey, I am so and so. I am currently doing this thing. I'm currently facing this problem, and we have invited so and so here to share with us some of their experiences. So this is so and so. Would you like to do a self-introduction? And then I imagine them doing a self-introduction, and I have to prepare for them saying things. What would they say? What would they not say? is there anything that I should add, right? And then I would just explain to them that I'm gonna do a quick English introduction for them, and then I'll do a quick English introduction, and then like how would I proceed onto like to getting started with the communication. What kind of questions should I ask first? How would I bring them in from this introduction to this next situation here? And what might they be teaching? What might they be sharing? And how should I understand it? How should I follow up? Is there, what kind of follow-up questions might there be? You know, like stuff. Oh my god, yeah, it's gonna be so many things. Oh, my Japanese is learned in a very weird way. It's done in many different parts. So 10 years ago when I tried to pick up art, I also picked up some hiragana and katakana. And I only really just know the letters. I don't know any grammar. I do not know any words. But over the years, it has allowed me to pick up stuff here and there a little bit easier, right? Because once you know the speaking system, it just becomes a little bit easier to work with. And all that time as well, I've also really liked Vocaloid songs. So I spent a lot of time singing Vocaloid songs. So if you... Sometimes Japanese people can't tell I'm not Japanese just because my pronunciation is good, and that's mostly because of all these singing that I've done. So at least in terms of like enunciation, right, getting words across, I have a decent amount of confidence. The main thing that I'm not sure of is the oh yeah, let me just finish answering that first. So 4 years ago I can't speak Japanese. Simply put, 4 years ago I simply cannot speak Japanese because I have no experience. But I went into VR chat, I met this guy. One day he's probably gonna come on stream, I think. He just feels very inadequate because there's nothing for him interesting to share. He feels like, but he's a very interesting person. But anyways, like he was raised in Japan. He's not Japanese himself, but he's raised in Japan. And we spoke basically daily for years. And that's where most of the conversational practice came from, just random people in VR chat. Grammar, I spent a good 8 months forcing a lot of grammar and vocabulary into my head. And I think at the end of the 8 months I took M1, and then that was that. I do know Mandarin as well, so kanji is not a problem. Kanji, that's a huge hack. The fact that I can look at a kanji and know what it means, and also reasonably guess at how it's going to be pronounced, that is a huge thing. But all of this is just all conversational. When it comes to formal communication, it is really hard because that's etiquette, right? It's not just about what you're saying now, it's about the nuances that the guy is giving. I don't think it's gonna be this formal. We're not doing a business deal, right? To some extent, I am still paying money for a service. We're not trying to sign like $1 million deal. So it's not like I have to be aware of, hey, if we go out and drink, who's gonna pour the drinks for who? How full should the cup be? How high should your glasses be? And where should you sit? Did you guys know? It's such a pain, yes. But like if you, for example, if you go like to a Japanese restaurant, right? Let's say you go into a Japanese restaurant. This is a top-down view of the room. Let's say you go into a private room because you're doing a business deal. And this is the table over here. There are 4 seats. Do you know the seniority? The order in which you're supposed to sit based on seniority. I actually forgot, right? I forgot what the order was. But all these things, man, like... And no one ever teaches you either. No one teaches the Japanese people either. They just kind of have to pick it up on the job. By either screwing up or having people who are kind enough to teach them before shit goes, hits the fan. And shit like that. I don't think it will get to this extent. I will brush up on the etiquette just in case. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a prep. Okay, so even this level of detail over here, sorry, there's a bit of a whiplash with me jumping back and forth, but even with just like a little bit more splitting of the lines here, I think it's a little bit more interesting. At least we're nowhere near ask, but at least it's a little bit more interesting. Yeah, like Asian customs, there are so many. Western is just more about being presentable and being open communication, good communicator, that kind of stuff, just making ideas clear. But over here, or rather over there, it's like man, you gotta be really careful. Is there a reason why they have multiple counting systems? I'm assuming you mean like 1, 2, 3 versus 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, something like that, because it is present in English, I guess. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, the virus. Yes, ask has a lot of gradients, yeah. right? Once again, it's the color versus shape thing. I would like to focus mostly on shape, but I think there's a good portion of that that is also affected by the colors and gradients that you are using. So it is tricky, right? Art is never, like, you can never really separate all the components out, which is what I really hate. It makes it so hard to learn. You have to tackle a lot of things at once. As honestly as crazy enough that I've come as far as I did, because with my personality, where I like things to go fast and quick and just be done in one try, it's kind of crazy I've even gotten this far, because I would have quit something like this a long time ago. If it were not for my own character, honestly, I would have given this up so much longer ago. This is also why I really want to get it done, because this character has been so influential. I don't know if that's cringe or not, but it is what it is. But anyways, this is a bit of sidetrack. But counting papers versus people, round objects, or hard objects of different shape. Oh yeah, like there's a lot of different terms, right? Like, but in English, you will also be like a sheet of paper versus a pair of scissors, or like a apple, or like you know. We do, I think it's just a thing. I'm not really sure why it exists, but it does seem like it's present in English as well. And if anything, like English might have more than Japanese. I feel like Japanese doesn't have that many. Like Chinese has a lot. Chinese has a lot of these things. And it's really funny because my friends and I, or at least if you're not that proficient with the language, you usually just use like one specific one. You use like just like the, I don't know if this will get through, but like you would just be like using this one specific one. Which means this just means it's like using for everything, like scissors, a grape. Actually a grape kind of works, but like a paper, you know. You just you just default to like the basic one and that's it. I'm sorry, what? Insane lore on why Usagi are using bird counters because they look like birds? Sorry, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what that is referring to. I'm not sure what Usagi is in this context. Is it like a person? A specific person? And also, what is a bird counter? I guess you mean like the keyword for counting birds? What is the keyword for counting? I think Japanese is just yeah, in Chinese, right? A bird would be like this, but in Japanese it would just be this, right? As in ibiki. And this would be used for all animals. Whereas in Chinese, if it's like a dog, it'll be something else. If it's like a cow, it would be like one head, I think. Oh. Whereas in Japanese, it's all this. So Japanese actually has it a little bit easier, I think. Yeah, I haven't written Mandarin in a very, very long time. I think the last time I've written it was 2011. It's just not necessary anymore. Even if you type, you just type it, right? Yeah. I think you can relate. They use wa on birds, including rabbits, for some reason. Oh, wait, is that true? Actually, then I don't know then. I think this is my limitation, the limits of my Japanese then. Sorry, I'm getting a copyright warning after all this time. Now? Oh, I guess it's this particular video has like the copyrighted music, because all the other ones before hasn't had any issues. Okay then. Sure. I go back to listen to train sounds. Hang on, where's my train sound? Yeah. Yeah, then in which case I don't know. But you're right, actually. Now that you mentioned it, there is a Japanese tongue twister, which is specifically saying it's supposed to mean this. So there are 2 chickens in the garden. Yeah, now that you mention it, you're right. I do believe birds is wa, because garden in Japanese is niwa, and This is niwatori, right? Garden bird. And then if you combine this and you do it, it would be like niwa. If I can write this, can I write this properly? I don't know if I wrote this correctly. This might be wrong. Niwa. Niwa. And then like the wa here, I don't know what the wa here is. It might just be this wa. And then niwatori. Ah shit, let me just look up the... Oh, is that wa? I've never seen that. Oh my god. It's so rare to see it. Niwatori. Oh, niwatori is just written as this? Okay, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. I don't know how to write this, but I'm just gonna skip it. But like, I'm gonna write it in this so that we can separate out the terms here, otherwise it'd be very confusing. And then it will be ga iru. Right, so it'll be like niwa, ni, wa, as in like the particle ni. So in garden, and then referring to this as in there is. And then this will be the two wa, I guess, in our case, and then two chicken is present, right? So it's present. So like yeah, you're right. I actually forgot about this. So it's actually not picky then for chicken or birds. Ah, どうも、庭ありがとうございます。のぽぽすメガネさん。Oh, you wanna sorry, Raz, you wanna see how the chicken is written? This is the other annoying thing I've come to realize. Sometimes how do I show you guys this? I just realized. Where did I put this? I'll put it in the chat. The printed form of Japanese text can be different from the written form. And you would sometimes write letters different from how you would see them in text and like documents or like fonts basically. And that really trips me up. I'm trying to think of one example because I did take Japanese 101 in my university because I thought it was gonna be free dollar bills. It is actually free dollar bills back then, because they were teaching me hiragana and katakana, which I mentioned that before, that I learned 10 years ago, right? So, you know, doing something that you've learned, so that was 3 years ago or something. So doing something that you've really learned 8 years or 7 years prior is like free score, free credits. But yeah, no, feel free to ask like any random Japanese questions if you have any. And for the most part, I do know quite a bit, at least about like more casual stuff, right? General casual stuff. If it's like really technical terms or like the written form of Japanese, by the way, the written form of Japanese, especially the more what's the word? Academic style of writing can be pretty hard. Academic style, business style, it can be pretty confusing. I cannot really read those that well. And the bonus is that if you guys have any questions that I cannot answer, I can just go, I can just hop in game or like ask my friends. So yeah, it'll be a learning experience for everyone. If you guys have anything, just feel free to shoot it. I should probably also hop off because I need to sort out my my emails with the artist. I haven't really made too much progress today, unfortunately, but I have a bit. I guess at least the hair, we have some interesting shapes maybe that I can use potentially for the final one that we do have to sort out over here. It would be a journey, I suppose. I think it's really, given how long it takes for my sketches and stuff to really come together, that being 5 years, and it's probably not that reasonable to ask too much of the coloring and rendering at this point. This is how it's gonna be, I suppose. This is just the process. I think it looks really basic. I know like it's missing like reflected light, it's missing like soft edges and hard edges, like differentiations of the materials and textures and details, and yeah. But like, Yeah, it's a trust the process thing, man. I mean, like, what else am I expecting here, right? That's all I have done. Like, I'm basically just like all I did like 10 years ago. I drew something bad that's out of shape, and I'd be like, yeah, this looks like shit. It's out of shape. Yeah, no shit. Like, that's what I did, right? My job as an artist is to make it look good, right? It's to make it look less shit. So, I am probably just not thinking about this in the right way. I'm probably just expecting too much at this stage of the process, because it is a process. It's so hard to undo that sort of conditioning that I've had over a decade of just being like, hey, I'm shit, I'm shit, I'm shit, I'm shit. This is this should look much better by now. This should look much better by now. Let me try to work through this. But anyways, hopefully we get through this soon. But anyways, I think I should go and get this email sorted out, and also have enough sleep for tomorrow. Yeah. We can do better than this. I can do better than this. I can definitely do better than this. There's so many more things that I can do. I'm looking at this, so many more things. Like just look at the GG one, right? Like this GG one. It doesn't matter, like the fact that there's no real background. We can always put in some real reflected light. We can always put in a bit more color. Like I was putting in red. You see like this red here from this red thing? It's kind of far. Doesn't really matter, right? Just make it look a little bit more vibrant. I think Terminators, right? Terminators can be darker, can be more colorful in certain areas if you like it to be some textures here and there. And honestly, it's definitely doable. I'm just calling it quits a little bit too early every time. Yeah. So I'm just reassuring myself. There's so many times I repeat myself on stream just because I'm trying to convince myself of something because I'm not that convinced. Yeah. Anyways, I need to get the email out so I can have a little bit more of a peace of mind, and hopefully get that conversation going. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for chatting. It's really hard to overstate how important like the role that you guys play, just being here and talking to me. Not just because it keeps me here and being motivated, but also because a lot of times I learn a lot more just talking about random shit. Even if like you guys are not necessarily discussing the same thing, I talk about something and I think what I am listening to what I'm saying, and I realize something as a result. So yeah, thank you guys as usual for being here. Hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna send the email, and then hopefully we get the a reply soon, and hopefully it'll be good news. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for coming. Have a good night, have a good day, have a good evening, afternoon, morning, so on and so forth. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye. Yes, thank you, Rez.